7 handicap, looking to get a better understanding of the golf swing. Overall, good move. We've got both views. We're going to take a detailed look at this. So at setup, we can see not a lot wrong, maybe a bit palmy in the grip and some relaxed curvature of the spine. Neither of which can cause major issues, but I'd try to get down in your fingers a little bit more. It might bring your right hand a little weaker. Left hand looks okay. But if you're not having much face control based on grip, I think it's more so what you're doing with your body that might be causing some of your leftward issues, as noted in the comment. So let's start with the face-on view first, where a first move is a nice little tilt of the head. Watch the bill of the cap here. Right before the takeaway, little twist of the head. That's actually going to promote a nice rotation of the body along a fixed axis. So we like that move. Turning the head off will still keep most likely your left dominant eye down at the ball and keeping you from, like I said, swaying off of it. As you're getting up to the top, maybe could clear more room with some left shoulder tilting down so you're not jamming up against your chin there. But wrist angles, club position, length of swing, lack of sway, rotation, knee stability, looking very solid to the top. Let's do the same over at the other side, where we'll introduce a path line as well, traced right through the shaft, and a quick line on the rear end to see how you're moving the weight. As the club comes back nicely on path, just above the line, face angle square down to the ground. As we see from P2 on up, there's a little bit less shoulder tilt and rotation, a little bit more of an arm lift straight up toward the top. You might get a little bit of a longer backswing if you wanted to, just by trying to rotate the upper body a little bit more. But again, in stable positions and really not much wrong with this top position. As we're going to start the first move down, let's go back face on. First move, kick, bump, slide, salsa dance to your left side, keeping the hips closed before you open up. It's a great first move down, shifting the weight forward and bringing your low point down and forward. Nice for these irons. You will achieve an impact that looks like it has a nicely flat left wrist, a good square club face, and a appropriate 9-degree forward shaft lean at strike. Things from face on look really nice here. At impact, one frame later, might have skipped a few, but there's a heavy cup and release of that club, inferring that there's a lot of club face rotation and potential to close it down a bit early. Lots of, again, crossing forearms, closing that face on the way through. If your body has cleared in time, meaning you've made the weight shift, this I believe you'll do most times, you'll make the weight shift forward. But if you don't clear, if your hips stall and do not make that full post in rotation, it would be very easy for your hands to catch up, get quick, and hit that ball to the left. So more turn or feeling like you can continuously clear space with the hips should promote you holding on to that lag angle through impact a little bit more. So try to get yourself to prevent some of that excessive release causing that face to close down. Now we're still frozen at the top over here from down the line. We're going to see where that path drops. As we're making that bump forward, the club and the hand path will start dropping down nice toward the path line. But the troubles really start at your P5 through impact. Club shaft is getting down nicely on plane, might be a little bit too far inside to out, again promoting draws and hooks. You could try to be a little bit more on path line, trying not to lay the shaft down quite as much. But one move that I think is really costing you and causing some of that flip and the lack of hip rotation, not only shoulder rotation or shoulder tilt down. You can see how your body is maintaining a good angle through most of the swing. Then you get scrunched up, your spine's really extending here, and you're trying to jump and create space. That slightly, I wouldn't call it so early extension, but extension of the spine still will have the reactive effects of throwing or flipping that club at the bottom. So the more I look at this side view, I'm not considering it to be a hip clearance problem, but more of a shoulder or upper body clearance problem that might have you releasing that club early. What I mean is this jammed up effect could be solved by trying to continuously drive that right shoulder down and through strike. That's going to help your left shoulder clear and maybe allow you to maintain this downward spine angle without popping up and through. a perfect example of right shoulder tilt down at impact, you will see shortly. Some might call it an excessive exaggeration of shoulder tilt down. We'll go with this one because I know it's ridiculous. It's Joachim Neiman. We'll zoom in just a bit. Not really caring about much other than this angle and the tilt. So let's get you back to setup here as well. You can see with the pronounced butt out type position, it will align the spine a bit better and allow for better body rotations. As we get the same line through you here, we'll move up to the top. I guess he'll go first, so a little more outside the plane, starting to almost compress a little bit lower below that line from where he started, and the shoulder tilt is somewhat at a perpendicular angle. Again, excessive, wouldn't need to see that much. You're starting to get some of that tilt down. It really doesn't look bad for your takeaway, but as you near the top, maybe a little bit more tilt down would help, but you're close to that perpendicular line here. As we continue to proceed down, let's clear up a little bit. You've compressed slightly lower than where you started. The right shoulder, however, is sort of just right here. We'll mark it with an X. As we clear up and start moving our pro down, we're going to see that the continued compression of the spine, hips are clearing way open, and as we continue to move this really slow video closer to impact, we can see how much right shoulder tilt there is through that strike. Now again, everything about this is excessive, but I'm really just trying to portray what type of movement you want to see. More of that left side clearing out will bend you down, and in order to still strike the ball, that right shoulder, right elbow will have to dig in. You can see the difference in the body contortions. And again, just trying to have anything closer to this will have your hands more forward, face more open through strike, more rotation, less flip. There's a lot that further goes into this, but I do think that more left clearance, more right shoulder down is your first step in trying to be a little bit less hooky with those hands. Good luck. SendASwing.com.